afternoon, everyone. This is Grizzly Rising and my co-host.
What's up, guys? This is Wolf. How y'all doing? It's old thought squeeze you out day.
Yep, it's worship mothers who are the best stewards of children in the entire world, and I say that very sarcastically. Let me get this shit off there. Go. So there we go, and as you can see, we're talking about a video from MGTOW Values. Hey Rose, how you doing? Where's my steak and eggs thought? Chop chop. Get on it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. We're going to talk about a video that MGTOW Values did, and he's claiming that MGTOW is the Manosphere. So feel free to jump in at any time, Wolf, and say what you got to say.
Yeah, I don't know much about this guy. I've only heard his name a few times. I guess a couple of years ago, there was controversy that he's claiming MGTOW, but was married, and now he's changed his story or something. But yeah, I'm going into this blind, but I do have an opinion, so let's get started.
Alrighty, so we got that. All right, I'm going to jack the volume up so everybody can hear it, and we'll see what he has to say.
Values. I know I don't have the authority or position to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm throwing the PUA, the MRA, the game instructors and the dating coaches and incel. I'm throwing them out of the Manosphere. They never belonged here in the first place, and we're going to see why. You're not in the Manosphere. Let's just take a real quick look here. Manosphere, it's got the word man. It puts men first. The gynosphere puts women first. And we're going to look at the PUA, the MRA, the dating coaches, game instructors. We're not going to look at incel today, but they got a problem. They put women first. They all put women first. They deliver men up to the judges in the family court abattoir system. Now, I'd like to take you all back about 20 years, and yes, I know things change, but...
Jesus Christ, man, talk about a dramatic reading of a book or a post. Wow.
Well, first of all, that's not true. The red pill puts you as your own point of origin first. Just because they want to date women or and be involved with women doesn't mean they put women first. That's
well, back in the day, if you claimed a MGTOW status, you could still have casual relationships with women. The unwritten rules where you just didn't get married or cohabitate with them or have kids with them. But if you just wanted to bang them and clang them, that was perfectly fine. But now, since the Spurs have taken over, since MGTOW's become the clown car of the Manosphere, that's no longer the case. I mean, it's kind of stupid. It's really asinine, and now it's like you got to be a monk, monk or nothing. See, once again, the clown car is out today, folks. We got the MGTOW clown car out because, lately in the last couple of years, man, all the quote-unquote hardcore MGTOWs, they do a video, it's like you open the door, a bunch of fucking clowns burst out, just goofing around and being dumbasses. All right, let's
some of these, hardcore MGTOWs that you're bringing to court is they want their audience to believe. In fact, some of them simp and cuck to this thought we have in the audience right now behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, I mean, for someone like her to live rent-free in your head, man, you gotta have some major problems. You gotta have some serious fucking problems. She's living rent-free in your head. Yeah, and there were some of them that want to make her breakfast in bed. Have you ever had breakfast in bed? But anyway, let's get back to this crap fest.
But some things stay the same. So let's take a look at Zed the Zen priest, who has this paper up called "I'm a Strong Believer in Natural Processes." And quote 1 of this in 2002 says, "Forget about women and live!" exclamation mark. And as he says here, as one of the posters here recently quipped, "This is the red pill. It is not Zion." And if we remember the movie The Matrix, Zion is the place of safety, whereas red pill is just the knowledge that you are in danger. Now let's hear some words from the CME people themselves.
We'll talk about how to avoid the wrong type of women.
How to select the right woman.
Yeah, we will talk about sex and relationships. That's a given.
But we're focusing on becoming a complete man.
Yes, most of us found this community because of women. And hey, man, it was a few women for me.
What do y'all
Oh, hold on. So he puts up this this sign as he's playing Donovan Sharp's promotional video, and it says, "So a man is complete only if he has a woman." Notice the chart. A substantial percent are clinically insane. Well, no shit. I mean, 25% of American women are suffering from mental illness, which means that there are 75% of American women running around undiagnosed and untreated for said mental illness.
How he's twisting those words.
Right.
He said how to be a complete man, but he did mention women, but that's not what he said to be a complete man, which is not what he's trying to construe here.
Well, they're bastardizing, the guy's words of what he's saying, and the whole premise of this, the whole premise of their criticism is like, I guess the biggest thing for me is the fact that they're getting so blown out of shape about some guy having a fucking conference and having speakers and charging money for people to attend said conference.
Yeah, this is what I haven't understood about that. They've been quiet about the 21 Studios conferences or conventions or whatever, but now all of a sudden Donovan Sharp wants to do a conference, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'd like for someone to explain that to me, because y'all have been the 21 convention and the 22 convention.
I can explain that to you. It's the fact that Donovan Sharp is really winning hard on the MGTOW Spurgs. That's why they're giving us so much shit, because he's just basically looked at them for a long time as just being losers, people who couldn't get laid, guys that didn't want to do the work to get successful, to look the part, to act the part, to be the part in order to get what they wanted. And plus, they were constantly criticizing him.
Well, he also changed his mind about that.
Right.
He's done a video about it.
Yeah, and he and I think a lot of that had to do with Terrence Pop and Coach Greg Adams, and he's beginning to see, okay, all these guys are not like incel spurgs; they're just running around like sugared up 5-year-olds. He changed his mind about that, but these guys are like, I swear to God, a lot of these MGTOW spurgs, this guy to a certain extent, Desert Trash Man, Mr. Foaming at the Mouth, Mr. Leet, and Mike the Meth Head Moron. They're all just overreacting like a bunch of broads, like a bunch of feminists. And it's pretty sad to see, so let's continue with this shit and see what this fucking asshole has to say.
talking about, man? I'm undefeated.
Shit, I'm not. I've taken a lot more L's than W's.
All right, let me stop the cap. I've taken plenty of L's.
But many of us understand that it's not all about women.
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
This doesn't mean we don't want women,
Because trust me, we most certainly do.
but we're going to show you why it's important to follow the advice of the Godfather himself, Rollo Tomasi.
Duplicity's the art of saying something while really saying the opposite of it. They say they don't want to talk about women, and they talk about women more than anything else.
Okay, well, and of course, they had, of course, a lot of the MGTOW Spurgs are big mad at Rollo Tomasi. They have a lot of dislike for the man.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I just wanted to think about that for just a moment. Yes, he's kind of given MGTOW a hard time, but mostly he's just stated why he disagreed with him. And there's been another trend. Okay, so you have to think Rollo's probably the most popular of the modern Manosphere, the most popular name. So they're basically doing this prison mentality, where it's like you got to try to take down the big dog to try to get clout, which is, there's a lot of shitbirds trying to do that right now as we speak.
Yeah, but these guys are just, I don't know what's going on with them, because MGTOW wasn't always like this, and the Thought had something to say, and she said, I thought the whole point of the Manosphere was to support men no matter what path they chose. Well, it used to be like that. I mean, back in the day, MGTOW is like, the rules were no cohabitation. Once again, I'm going to repeat this until I'm blue in the face. No cohabitation, no marriage, no having children with women. But if you want to have no long-term relationships, but if you want to have casual flings with women, that was fine. It just don't commit to them.
Okay, and how do you meet, if you're a MGTOW who's not a monk and you want to bang casually, what process do you go with to meet and obtain these short-term flings?
Well, let me backtrack on that a little bit. So that used to be the standard. That was the basic tenets of MGTOW. But what happened was, as the incels and the spurgs, which are really the same thing, I guess, the incels, the spurgs, what I like to call, some of them are legit misogynists, came in and metastasized the space, and expanded the cancer, and all of a sudden went from that to being, MGTOW being synonymous with being a celibate monk who doesn't engage in sexual activities with women, or even, in some cases, doesn't even be around women. Like, for example, there's this one, he's kind of retired these days. I guess he got on some medication and got the God pill, but he went by the name of Angry MGTOW, and he was a weirdo, but he was definitely a creep. But yeah, these guys, it's like, if you're a monk, MGTOW became synonymous with monk. He said he was even afraid to deal with a female at the checkout stand at the supermarket. That's
just sad.
Yeah, that's what MGTOW's metastasized into.
Well, hey, I'm going to address a couple of comments.
Go ahead.
That we have here. Hidden Knight MGTOW, excuse me. Communist infiltrated MGTOW and the Manosphere, absolutely. And then we got Phil, is having a fling with females playing with fire these days. To a degree, but life is full of risk.
Absolutely. Dealing with females today is like playing with fire. But here's the thing, and I think I'll get to, we might touch on this again once I get done watching this dumpster fire. Tell that to a 20-something guy whose dick gets hard when the wind blows by him. Tell that to a guy. Tell that to a 20-year-old guy or a 20-something guy.
Yeah, that's why these young so-called MGTOW who may actually be incels are so crazy, to be honest with you. I wanted to continue to address actually what Hidden Knight MGTOW said. One of these communists is pretty well known, and he's pretending to be a conservative. He's one of my favorite people to talk about. I just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was so much the communists infiltrated MGTOW, but the spurgs, the incels, the weirdos, the legit misogynists, got into MGTOW, and then they kind of just they corrupted the space from the inside out. And I'm not saying I'm not saying all MGTOW are like this, so I'm not saying all MGTOW. I'm not implicating everyone, but the majority of the most vocal of the MGTOW though are the spurs, are the ones that make MGTOW, well, the clown car of the Manosphere, and
loud majority, loud minority,
and then MGTOWs have become the NPCs of the Manosphere, because and here's the thing, when guys like this put out a video like this, they just give the opponents of the Manosphere more ammunition to work with.
Yeah, because they're going to say that those guys are the majority, or that they represent the MGTOW or the red pill. And this guy's wrong already. The red pill is simply understanding female nature. MGTOW was not the only red pill faction.
All right.
They're saying the opposite of it. They say they don't want to talk about women, and they talk about women more than anything else in this trailer. One can see what they're really talking about, I think. Given that the red pill does not send men into danger, let us take a look at the history of the Manosphere. Here, the history is less clear, but if we compare search results for MGTOW versus Manosphere, we see that MGTOW is the energy driving the Manosphere and not vice versa. And
Oh, wow. The delusion runs strong with this one.
Yeah, he's fucking delusional as shit. Actually, the regular red pill sphere is the most active and well-known part of the manosphere. To be honest, MGTOW is kind of the redheaded stepchild, but not saying anything negative about him. You're just not as well known. Just that's it.
Well, they started gaining some traction. MGTOW started gaining some traction back in 2016 when you still had I don't know. I guess I don't even like to use the word, but it's the best one I got at the moment. Reasonable people talking about these issues and sussing them out and having discussions and going through them. But then you started getting these people that were just completely, spurred out, mentally ill, incels, people that, don't want to take men who don't want to take the necessary actions to calm themselves down, to get their life in order, and to do something productive. And that's slowly from late 2017 up until 2019, they are the ones that took over the MGTOW space and made it a laughing stock, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really started in late 2017. I remember I was a kind of an early guy in a Monkey Business Discord server, and I had a lot of great conversations. A lot of, I felt bad for a lot of these dudes because they're older guys that actually had been divorced, raped, and couldn't see their children and stuff like that. And they would talk about very mature concepts, and it was great. I really loved it. And then later, late 2017, early 2018, and came like the more spurgery people, and it started to get a little polluted. But I still miss that server, but it did get very autistic. Right.
Yeah, I mean, and then you started getting the people who were talking about, my wife was burying your waifu. And look, just for the record, I don't have a problem with sex dolls. If that's what some guys need, to get some relief and they keep their sanity, I'm all for it. But for me, I just can't get over that. Can't get over the whole what did TFM call it, like the second wall or the third wall or something like that. I mean, when it came to sex dolls. Now, I don't have anything against Phil. I don't have anything against Dollhouse. I think he does wonderful work. He's he's providing these dolls for guys that definitely have a need for something like that, and it keeps them out of trouble. It gives them something to focus on. It gives them some relief. And I'm kind of like libertarian. Hey, you know what? Guys want to bang sex dolls? Go for it. If guys want to go out there and run game and bang broads, then go for it.
Yeah, that's
that's my attitude. I don't have when it comes to that, I don't have a dog in the race, really. I don't, I'm just like, just as long as it's legal and lawful, and have at it.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. The very libertarian choice. I mean, that's your life choice. I'm not going to judge you for that. It's not for me, but if you want to do that, go ahead. My problem is you got certain individuals who are implying that if you have a sex doll, then you are like mentally ill. Or you got the SpergTowel that are, saying that you're still being gynocentric because you have a doll. I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah, you're not going to please all the people all the time. So, and at that point, you just learn really fast as you grow older that, just do what you got to do, be who you're going to be, and don't worry about pleasing everybody. Because when you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. All right, let's get back to this shit show.
And the same is true when we compare MGTOW searches to pickup artists or MGTOW searches versus men's rights. What men want, what men are searching for, is the MGTOW information, the red pill information, and they do not get this from PUA, dating coaches, men's rights, game instructors. Now that we have overviewed why PUA, dating coaches, and game instructors
how many of those
red
has he
pill
actually
nor
watched?
Manosphere on historical,
Hold on.
definitional, and
let me pause it. I don't think he's watched any of them, to be perfectly honest with you.
Like I like to watch. Some people may hate him, and he doesn't really like MGTOW or people who bang dolls, but modern life dating. And there's a lot of red pill stuff that he talks about.
Yeah, I mean, and he has some pretty good episodes from time to time.
Yeah,
There we
he's
go.
trying to keep you from getting fleeced.
Yeah.
If you're going to deal with women, that doesn't mean it's all about women. It's money, muscles, and game. Self-improvement. That's a lot of the stuff he talks about. And he's not the only one that does that. There's a lot of so-called PUA or dating coach guys that put that first. Just because they want to deal with women doesn't mean you're gynocentric or that you're blue pill or purple pill or whatever the fuck.
You know what? A man dealing with women, that's kind of hardwired into most of us. That's that's the reason why the species continues. It's why we have kids. It's how humanity's kept going, is because, man is hardwired to have interest in women. Women are interested generally to be hardwired to be into men.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was getting into.
You know what this is? You know what it is? Let me break this down for you.
It's called biology.
But the thing is, the SPURG-TOW kind of have this holier than thou kind of belief where it's like, well, I have defeated my hard wiring and I don't want anything to do with women. And if you do, you suck and you are a simp.
You know what? Siphonet Sif says marriage is still a bad deal. I'm not disagreeing with you, man. And having kids right now is not a bad deal. Is a bad deal for men.
Yeah, marriage in particular is a really bad deal.
No one here is disagreeing with that. What we're doing is we're making the argument that, men interested in women is a function of biology.
Yeah, you as a man, what benefit do you actually get from putting a ring on a woman's finger and signing the papers? Pretty much nothing.
Right. And, the thing is, nowadays, in this modern era, having a woman is like having a pony. They're expensive, they're incredibly difficult to maintain, it requires a lot of time and effort in doing so, but the return you get on your investment is very low. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm just trying to say, why the hate over guys that want to teach guys how to get girls or get broads or get laid? That's my question. I'm not disagreeing with the marriage piece of it. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that it's a bad deal for men. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that there's a good chance that they're going to get bent over the table in divorce court. There's no disagreement with that, but I'm just like, MGTOW's turned from something that was meant to help let's put it this way. MGTOW was meant to help broken men rebuild themselves and give themselves a new purpose. I think that was the original intent of it.
Well, also, it was meant as a prevention for men getting broken.
Right. For the younger men learning from the mistakes of the older guys, so they didn't make that same mistake. But now it's turned into a quasi cult. Like I said, I did a video about this, and it's up on I know it's up on BitChute. I think I might have put it up on MGTOW TV. That MGTOW is a cult, but unfortunately, MGTOW's become a cult. And I'm not once again, not all MGTOW are in a cult or whatever, but many of them kind of just subscribe blindly. They don't question anything. They just believe whatever the latest, flavor of the month called personality leader has to say, and here we are. So let's continue with this shit.
Practical grounds, let us look at the moral aspects of grifting. The MGTOW.com website expresses very well the core of MGTOW, the core of the red pill discussion, the core of the Manosphere. They say it is simply not worth taking idiotic risks anymore. But where there is money, grifters will follow. And follow the CME, follow the 21 Studio, and all the various sellers of men into the gynocracy, taking their 30 pieces of silver in compensation for their glib words and predatory actions.
Okay, so here's the deal. I don't have a problem, even with 21 Studios. having a conference and saying, hey, if you want to attend this conference, you got to pay X amount of dollars to be able to attend this conference and listen to these speakers. I don't have a problem with Donovan Sharp doing the Conference of Masculine Excellence. They're charging a fee, and if people want to pay that fee, they should have the right to go ahead and pay that fee and go hear the speakers and see what they got to say. I mean, what's the problem with this? Let the market sort it out. If people don't want to hear their message, then they don't have to attend. And if it's really unpopular and everybody hates it, they're gonna, these conferences are gonna fall flat on their face. But apparently, they're not falling flat on their face.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. My problem is the hypocrisy, again, of MGTOW being silent about 21 Studios.
No, he did mention 21 Studios in a video.
He did, but there's a lot of MGTOW who are like going on the streams and talking shit about the CME, and it's like, you're on this guy's stream who does these same conventions talking shit about the other guy's convention. Like, that's kind of hypocrisy.
Well, you know what? And like I said, once again, the reason why I think they hate on the CME more is because Donovan Sharp is the one that's putting it on. Hey, Easter Inc., it's nice to see you. Yep, I'm back doing shows on Sundays, and at some point I'll get off my dead ass and start doing solo videos.
That would be good.
But
also, I just want to say real quick, MGTOW investor, yes, he is grifting into MGTOW. He's trying to revive Slob Lewis's channel right now. That's what he's doing.
And I think I think something else that needs to be brought up is TFM brought up the fact that hey, maybe these guys that are not going to listen to us type of MGTOWs, they might listen to guys like Donovan Sharp. They might listen to guys like Terrence Popp or Greg Adams, Joker from A Better Bachelor, Hotep Jesus, or Myron Gaines. So it's just another avenue to get the message out to people that might kind of look at MGTOW and think these guys are fucking weirdos. Yeah, happy Mother's Day, Easter Inc. Yeah, my mom's dead, so I'm gonna give a fuck about Mother's Day. I haven't given a fuck about that in shit over 30 years. Oh, you didn't have to retract the message, dude. It was fine. I'm good. But yeah, I think that's, and I think TFM is absolutely right about that. Maybe, these guys doing these conferences can attract guys that otherwise other content creators won't be able to attract. I mean, you've had Undead Chronic even going in on about this, and I got some theories to why he's spurging out all over the CME. Let's continue.
Let's hear what they have to say briefly.
We started calling each other grifters.
In the end, we are much stronger united than divided.
How to select the right woman. How to select the right woman.
Oh, did I let that play twice?
Okay, so he did the obligatory citing Donovan Sharp as as being a criminal and and doing all this stuff and making mistakes. And this is nothing new under the sun. Donovan Sharp even came out and said, I've been to jail. I've been convicted of some crimes.
He was open about his criminal past, unlike some of these other grifters in the community.
So I don't know how he was bringing that up. I don't know how that lessens his gravitas in the Manosphere.
In fact, there's one particular grifter who lost his court case who still hasn't told his fucking audience that he lost his appeal and his court case.
I mean, so, that's a non sequitur right there. I don't see why they do that.
Oh, I guess it's really important that they have a united front on how to select the right woman. Well, why don't we just take a look? Why don't we just see what these right women look like in the West today? Well, according to Pew American, the range is between, let's say, 30% and 55%. That the women are diagnosed insane. So what are the odds of getting one that's not really good? This is from 18 to 29. This is not even counting psychopathic women. or narcissistic women in the dark triad, or this is not even counting the entitlement or the ability to go Me Too or Title IX or any of this. None of this includes that. This is just, frankly, women who are nuts. Let us briefly remind ourselves of Red Pill as knowledge about the real world, a world of insane danger and manipulation, and the need to not take idiotic risks. We also remind ourselves of Zed way back, synthesizing knowledge that the Red Pill path is to forget about women and live. But the CME and 21 Studio and the rest do not want men to be smart. They do not want the young Chads or fading Chads or Chad wannabes to be smart. No, they dissimulate, deceive, misdirect, and disinform to lock men into chains and to profit from this. MGTOW is freedom.
Oh, God. Wow. No, they realize that men want to, young men want to get laid. Young men are horny. They want to get laid. They want to get their dicks wet.
See, yes, he's getting into that SPRGTOW thing of like, you can completely defeat your biology as a 21-year-old dude who you're gonna want to bang. Sorry, that's just how
hold on. Let me say this once again.
You can't defeat biology, numbnuts.
You can't.
Because at that point, you're almost being like a feminist, because a lot of feminism is about them hating Mother Nature, essentially, like wishing things were different and trying to legislate the change, which still wasn't going to happen.
And
that's just how it is.
Let's talk about, let's say, quote unquote, you defeat biology and you're a young man, you don't really defeat it. What happens is young men who don't get that relief, don't get their pee-pees wet, their behavior manifests, in other ways because of a lack of that. They become more violent, more withdrawn, more depressed. They develop legit mental illnesses. I mean, humans are meant to have sex. I mean, that's part of biology. And when you try to suppress that as a young man, it comes out in other behaviors. I mean, look, for example, at the Catholic Church, with the pedophile scandals in the 2000s. Those guys had to take a vow of celibacy so that, that they're not going to have sex with women. And so, that has to come out some way. Those urges have to come out some way. So what do? They started molesting little boys. There you go. That's just one of the symptoms. There are several others. And, the CME, from what, and I did watch the promotional video, they're not just talking about having game and picking up women. They're also talking about stuff like, as a young man, saving money, planning for the future, getting themselves established, building themselves up. And not to fall in a trap of marrying the first female that throws some peace leaf at them. Wolf?
I got nothing to add.
I mean, but yeah, so these guys are just fucking spinning out and reeing over fucking bullshit. All right, let's continue this thing to the end of the train wreck.
MGTOW is sanity. MGTOW is self-preservation. MGTOW is the Manosphere. As we listen to the reckless, duplicitous, and idiotic advice to end this video, we can watch how the law is turning consent into coercion. The PUA, MRA, dating coaches, and game instructors belong to the gynosphere. They never belonged among sensible good men. As they promote their winning approaches, the one word that PUA, MRA, dating coaches, and game instructors fear to mention is judge. That is because no man may alpha the system. No man may adopt a frame against a judge. No man may stop a woman from calling her best friend 911. The PUA, MRA, dating coaches, and game instructors are cowards and grifters, and are in no way red pill or Manosphere.
Yeah. And so if you're out and you look at a girl and you go, hey, you know what? She's kind of cute. I mean, not you. But if you look at a girl and she's kind of cute,
but definitely you.
But if you see a girl out and you go, you know what, she's kind of cute, and you walk up to her, you don't need a pickup line. You don't like, here's 17 ways to game a girl.
Yeah.
You just walk up to her and go, hey, you know what, I really dig your look, and also your hair, or just be funny or whatever, just be different.
So it is what it is. So I'll tell you this. We don't tell you guys to become high value to get girls. We tell you guys to become high value so you don't tolerate the BS that comes from dealing with girls. Because here's the thing. Women got to respect you first before they're going to take you seriously romantically.
All right, that fucking shit show's over.
All right, thank fuck.
There, we got the clown car back up on there, but yeah, what those guys were saying at the end of the vid, the ones he was quoting, they're right. You know, and part of game, what they call it now, in getting women to be attracted to you, is one of the first things is not to take their shit.
Let's see, the married man is going again with that Spurgtal idea of like, but you shouldn't even bother with women.
Yeah, for someone like me that's 50, yeah, I don't want to bother with women because they're more trouble than they're worth. For me. But for a young guy, like I said, wanting to get his dick wet, wanting to have some, maybe some companionship, I recommend you get a dog instead of getting a woman, because dogs are loyal and they're cheaper to maintain. But yeah, guys want to get laid. They want to get with as many women as possible. They want to bust that nut. They want to get the conquest. And so what these guys are doing is like, hey, here's how you do it, and here's how you keep from getting jumping into trouble. They try to help them navigate the shortfall so they don't fall into those traps. But this guy, yeah, and I think the reason why this guy, Desert Trash Man, and the rest of the Spurgs are going off on the CME is, I think I hate to say this, but I think they're jealous, because how many of these assholes in the Spurgosphere can organize a conference, book the spot, get the conference room lined up, get all the stuff in place to where people can order tickets online, coordinate all the speakers, give them time slots to do all this other stuff and put everything together like this? How many of these guys could do that by themselves? Can they do it? No. Can they actually get up on stage and speak in front of a group of people and speak in public and not shit their pants and do it? No. And I think part of it too, I think it's ironic that these Spurgs are called CME, the cowardly money extractors. Those guys are out there. They put their faces on camera. They're going to be out, they're out in public. They're doing their thing. They're going to have this conference. They're going to speak in front of other men. And let me tell you something. I've taken a public speaking class, and to get up in front of a group of people is hard as hell. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't think these Spurgs could do that. They just don't have the capacity to do it. They don't have the discipline to get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, work out, eat their breakfast, and get, and start doing their work. So, I think part of it's jealousy, and these guys just make MGTOW look like a bunch of assholes. So when the feminists come out and they look for an easy target, they don't have far to go. They just bring up people like this, Desert Trash Man. At one point, they were using Angry Megtard as the poster child for MGTOW, which he wasn't, because of the outrageous shit he said.
Well, what I'll say is the feminists don't have to do anything. They just have to sit back and cross their arms and watch us all fucking attack each other. But I want to say that Phil asked you a question. He wants to know who exactly you're talking about, which people.
MGTOW married values, or he calls himself MGTOW family values. When I refer to Desert Trash Man, I don't like giving him much attention because he's an attention freak. I'm referring to Mr. Hate Vicious. I call him Desert Trash Man because his little get up and his character. He sits there on screen drinking cheap beer, smoking cheap cigars, and he looks like some like scumbag you'd find out in like the in the Southwest, like in New Mexico or part of Arizona. He just looks like a fucking greaseball. And Mr. Hate Vicious's claim to fame is he has to mention it in just about every video that he did porn, or he does porn, which translates into using a handy cam on a tripod and very bad amateur porn. That's the porn he does. But he likes to brag about it like it's his life's accomplishment. Mr. Leet, he's another Spurg. He's not as spurgy as the rest. He's kind of like, I'd call him the Alpha Spurg. And he does some videos that are okay, but most of them are cringy. Then you got Mr. Form, who's pretty much just like him. Let me see, who's another great MGTOW Spurg? Butt plugs for teeth. Angry MGTOW before he found the God Pill and cleaned his life up. Let me see, there's just a whole cast of them. Now the MGTOW guys I like, Sandman's good for new guys coming into the Red Pill. Joker from Better Bachelor's great. Coach Greg Adams, who promotes the free agent lifestyle, which I kind of consider. I don't consider myself a MGTOW. I consider myself a free agent. TFM, of course. There's another guy. He's a small YouTuber, and I love him. He's really good. It's not Hamster. It's another one. It's Whiskey Stills and Tumbleweeds. He has a very small following, but he's a very level-headed guy. He's not boisterous. He's not obnoxious. He's just very matter to the fact, kind of folksy. Yeah, just a in my opinion, a great content creator. Like I said, Joker, Better Bachelor, Coach Greg Adams, Terrence Pop, of course. And there are some other guys out there that are not total Spurs, and most of those guys, they don't refer to themselves as MGTOW. Kevin Samuels is great. I love Kevin Samuels, man. He just slays these broads all the time and just tells them, gives them the facts, tells them the truth. And he doesn't cuss, he doesn't scream at them, he doesn't put them down, he just lays it out for them. He's, Kevin Samuels is huge. He's awesome. Yeah, I've seen a couple of his videos, Fat Man. I don't know about Strong Successful Male. I mean, he does seem like he puts out good content. He's, like I said, once again, he's level-headed. He's not spurging out. He's not jumping around, and he just lays out the facts. And there's a God, I forgot his name. He's another guy that does Red Pill content, mostly leaning towards the MGTOW side. I think it's Casual Bachelor is his name. And so there are guys out there that do great content. But the problem is, like I said, they get overshadowed by the Spurgs, the idiots, the weirdos, some of the MGTOW's been invaded by like legit white supremacists, which MGTOW was never meant to be a racial thing. It's open for all men. But they've infiltrated the space. And the problem is with MGTOW is there weren't any gay. Oh, another one I like is Replicant Fish, man. He's hilarious. Sunrise Hoodie is good too. But yeah, Replicant Fish puts out really good content. But as I was saying, these guys, there were no gatekeepers in MGTOW to say, hey man, you guys are not welcome here. You're too fucking spurgy. You're crapping on you're crapping on the movement. Yeah, MGTOW is a movement, it is a philosophy, it is a set of principles, it's all the above. So I don't want to have a philosophical argument over what MGTOW is and isn't. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, these guys weren't like told, hey, you're not welcome here, take that somewhere else, start your own little, start your He-Man Woman Haters Club and go about your business. And I think that's one of the failings of the quote unquote founding fathers of MGTOW, is that they didn't tell these guys to pack sand and leave and go do something, go be crazy somewhere else. So the movement, kind of like when cancer invades a cell, it just destroyed it and metastasized it from the inside out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not talking about regime change war in China. Like the last thing, we want a war with China. That would be bad. But anyway, getting back on subject. I haven't listened to RPM that much. Dollhouse, I haven't really listened to him too much. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of Manosphere MGTOW videos on a daily basis. I listen to some of them because if I would just, listen to all that stuff, I'd get overloaded, and I'd be even more depressed and miserable than I already am. So I don't listen to it nonstop because it can get really depressing. That's one of the reasons why back in early 2018 I stopped really doing live streams, because I was just reading these stories and they were just so awful that I'm just like, this is just fucking depressing me even more. So I have other outlets. There's other stuff I like to do besides see what's going on in the Manosphere.
Right, Easter Inc. You're correct. The Spurgtal are the guys you always see trying to dick police people.
Yeah, you know what? How fucking gay is dick policing some other guy? I mean, how fucking gay is that? It's like, dude, really? You're worried about some other guy like diddling women or having sex with women, and you're telling him that he's not this or that because he doesn't follow along to your preconceived notions of what a MGTOW should be or a man should be?
Yeah, well, they go after the guys who still want to deal with women. They go after the guys who get dolls. There's just no pleasing these guys. So these guys probably jerk off. So isn't that being gynocentric when you're looking at your porn or whatever?
Well, I don't even care if they jerk off, but just quit fucking trying to police other guys and determine and proclaim what the Manosphere is and what the Manosphere is. Because to most of the Manosphere, these Spurs look like fucking idiots. They look like goofballs. They're not taken seriously. They're just kind of like more of an annoyance and a nuisance than anything else.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The feminists don't have to do shit.
Right? They just have to
sit back and watch these guys.
Yeah, these Spurs just give
chaos.
give them plenty of ammunition. They don't have to lift a finger. But this is what happens when you have a movement that doesn't have any gatekeepers.
Well, I did a stream called Peace in the Manosphere, and I suggested basically the Manosphere flush its toilet. There's tons of grifters, there's tons of spurgs who need to be flushed down the toilet. They need to be exposed and flushed.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, and if you want, you want to make MGTOW something that's going to be taken seriously again, I suggest the level-headed, rational people of that movement take the reins and just say, "Hey, we don't, this is not what we're about. This is not cool," or just let it continue to be the clown car of the Manosphere, and let MGTOWs be the NPCs of the Manosphere, because they all just regurgitate the same talking lines. They don't have any original thought. They can't think for themselves. They don't question anything. They just blindly follow whatever sounds good to them. And every once in a while you'll get a guy that has a good personality, that's charismatic, and they'll like join quote unquote his cult, like they did with the Cantu Cuck Squad, or with some other Spurg, or you can't reason with them, you can't discuss anything with them. It's just nothing but one continuous shit show. And that's why I dropped the label. If anything, right now I just consider myself a free agent. I'm just doing my thing. I'm red pill, I'm doing my thing. Like I said, I have other things I like to do. There's other hobbies I like to get into. But instead of being obsessed about this stuff 24/7, because if you are, guess what? You're gonna fucking go insane. You're gonna lose your marbles. And that's why on my overlay here, my OBS overlay, there's a meme that says this is called a hobby. I suggest you fucking get one.
Well, Phil, I think we're already in MGTOW 3.0. That just because there's a new version doesn't mean it's a good. Some upgrades are not good. Sometimes they break the system.
Yeah, like when Windows Whip Me, Beat Me, Windows ME came out. That was an upgrade, but it was pretty crappy.
Terrible. So to me, the MGTOW 3.0 is when the guys who were essentially incels showed up, and things got really spurgy.
Yeah, the incels, got really spurgy, and there was this one. Like he was like the godfather of the Spurs, and he's not. They kicked him off YouTube for obvious reasons, but he called himself the Misoginator. And this guy
Never heard of that person.
Yeah, this guy would put out videos where women are dying in various and horrific manners on movies and stuff like that, and he would show them, and he legitimately wanted to annihilate women from the face of the earth, or he was just a giant troll, and he got a big laugh at everyone's expense.
Yeah, let me bring this up too. Do you guys remember Messenger Rising?
Oh yeah, he goes by the name Lazarus now.
Yes. Well, the reason I bring that up is, back when I was hanging out in Monkey Business during MGTOW 2.0, he was the guy everybody's like, man, this guy, you don't want to be like this guy. He's kind of crazy, kind of hardcore, he just wants women to die or whatever type of stuff. He wasn't quite what you were talking about, whatever, the Misoginator, but that was the guy that everybody's like, man, you don't want to be like him. He's kind of out there. But now he's completely changed his mindset. Now he's Lazarus, and I find him to be fairly reasonable. And I think a lot of you guys that I might consider Spurgtal need to take a lesson from that, because he's actually sat back and he put some thought into it.
Yeah, and you know what?
Changed his mindset.
I watched his videos when he's Messenger Rising, and I don't think he ever said anything about wanting to kill women or do anything like that. He was just being...
That stuff may not be on YouTube anymore, but
yeah, he never...
He was the most hardcore of hardcore dudes.
But he never advocated for harming women or anything like that. He was just, see, what happened with him was he got burnt by his by his ex-wife.
He got sent to prison.
Yeah, he got sent to prison.
I listened to the guy's story.
Yeah, he went through hell.
He did go through absolute hell, and
yeah, he did. And you know what? Now. And that does change you. That does change a person. Okay, so he probably had some post-traumatic stress going on, and he just didn't want to be around any sort of. He didn't want to be around females. The only female he wanted to be around was his daughter, and that was it. But he didn't want to be around any females. He just wanted to live his life. He wanted to recover, to heal. He started, I believe I don't know if he's completed that yet or if he's still doing it, but he started studying psychology, and he was always very philosophical to begin with, but I think as he's been learning more about psychology and stuff like that, I think he's become even more philosophical and introspective.
Well, yeah, he's made some really good observations. He pointed out that these MGTOW guys, these hardcore spurgy MGTOW guys, they would, put all these videos of these women getting killed or seriously hurt, and they'd laugh, and he pointed out the hypocrisy of that, hey, you guys are complaining that these women hurt you or they hurt men, and then you do the same thing. You laugh at these other people's misery. Whether you avoid women or not, they're still human beings.
Right.
You're becoming kind of a psychopath yourself.
Yeah, you're becoming the thing that you hate.
Females in a subhuman, category.
Yeah, no, I thought it wasn't. I don't think it was Messenger Rise. I think it was another guy. God, what is his name?
He did a video about that. I think it was another guy, but I don't recall who it was.
Yeah, he was another guy who was kind of spurging. Him and Messenger Rising had a falling out with each other, so because as soon as Messenger Rising stopped towing the MGTOW talking points, he became vilified. And like I said, man, Messenger Rising has always been cool with me. He's always had great content. So like I said, I don't have nothing bad to say about him. Traversable MGTOW was the one that Doc CS MGTOW, I believe.
Yeah, it was that traversable guy. I don't know that guy all that well, but yeah, I mean, I like his work. him and Spetsnaz, or every once in a while I'll go back and I'll listen, because they put out really good content.
Yeah, well, Hidden Knight says I never heard of these guys. Yeah, they were kind of like the OGs of of MGTOW.
Yeah, I'm not even a MGTOW, and I know about these guys.
Yeah, those were like the OGs of MGTOW, along with Spetsnaz, Thinking Ape. Who are some of the other guys that were the like OGs?
Barbar.
Yeah, Barbar, a bunch of they were like the OGs. Guys like me, TFM, Sandman, we were kind of like, I guess we could basically call second generation. Hey, Hidden Knight MGTOW, I got a question for you because I've noticed some of your comments. I think the founders had to have been white men. Nobody else would count. Dude, the Manosphere isn't a white or black thing. I know we have quote unquote the black Manosphere and then the mainstream Manosphere, but no one in the Manosphere is gonna reject another person because they're a different ethnicity. I'm trying to figure out why you're making all these comments about white West and white guys and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of that. It's like I don't care what color a guy is in the Manosphere, just as long as they're not spurgy or tripping out or being stupid. It really doesn't matter to me.
You're not Luigi, are you, Hidden Knight? I don't know if you know who Luigi is, but he's kind of using Luigi's talking points.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, man, regardless of who found it or didn't find find it, it's not based on race. But anyway, it's 2:00. I think we've beat this dead horse. And before we sign out of here, what does everybody think of the new backdrop and the way I got things laid out for the overlay for the streams we're doing? No, it's not Hidden Knight MGTOW. It's not based on race. I don't give a fuck if you're a little green man from Mars, just as long as you're not a spurg or a fucking asshole.
I do agree, though, with what he's talking about regarding the ties between feminism and communism.
Oh yeah, well, I always said that communism is the feminism is the handmaiden of communism. But it's a non sequitur, dude. There's no point in belaboring the matter. It's mud to me. I don't really care. It's become, the Masters become worldwide now. Well, you know what? Whatever gives you solace at night, whatever helps you sleep at night. I'm not going to argue the point with you. I just don't see the point. I don't see the point doing it.
Look, fat man, as long as you're red pill, as long as you understand the truth about intergender dynamics, you're good.
Well, I mean, and that's the dollhouse says, hey, do we agree in real life meetups? TFM always said they were bad. He disagrees, and for me, that's up to the individual.
I've met a bunch of people who are MGTOW. I never had any problems with any of the people I met.
Yeah, I'm just a fucking introvert, man. I don't like going out much. I'm a homebody. I like keeping to myself. That's just how I am. I mean, every individual has to make that choice for themselves. I'm not gonna be the governor or the arbiter of that. Now, I think if you want to meet up with someone in real life, hey, maybe you should see what they look like on the webcam before meeting up with them.
But also, like, the problem comes when people aren't who they say they are.
Right, yeah.
That's what creates a big problem. And a lot of the guys I've met, I've met quite a few, are exactly who they said they were online. So, and plus I'm quite capable of defending myself, and I am who I say I am. So it's not like they're going to meet me and come away with some kind of dirt or anything. So I ain't worried about that shit.
Right. Yeah, and you just gotta beware. You just gotta have some discernment and and be careful. I mean, with whoever you meet, because you can meet some stranger out in the street and it'll blow your fucking head off. But like I said, that's up to the individual. I think we pretty much run out of gas for this stream. What say you, Wolf?
I agree. I will leave you with, I agree with Phil. No man is an island. There's nothing wrong with meeting people. Just be who you say you are.
All right. With that being said, I'm Grizzly Rising, and my co-host is Infamous Wolf. This has been another episode of Coffee and Hatred. Come by next Sunday and tune in. We'll talk to you later.